things I love about McCaffrey Simply Fresh is the moment you walk in the door, they identify to you what produce is in season. So why does that make a difference? It makes a difference because when we pick a fruit or vegetable, we want to pick it at its peak ripeness, because that's when the vitamins and minerals and all those phytonutrients are at their peak nutrition. So think about it. If we purchase fruits such as berries in the middle of January, we know that they were not grown in Doylestown. They were likely grown in South America, Argentina, Peru, maybe Mexico. So in order for those fruits and vegetables to survive the trip to Doylestown, they have to be picked when they are not ripe. So the minute they're picked, all those vitamins and minerals and phytonutrient development ceases. And often they put these fruits and vegetables in gas chambers to make them kind of ripen unnaturally. Think about a tomato that looks beautiful in January, but the moment you bite into it, it has no taste to it. So if we purchase as much fruits and vegetables in season as we can, we know that we're getting the most amount of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients from them. So then you say to me, but I love my blueberries in January. So a really great alternative is frozen fruits and veggies, because frozen fruits and vegetables are picked at their peak ripeness and then flash frozen. So you're getting all the same benefits of a fresh in-season produce when you choose frozen. So obviously when we're in season, you want to go fresh. But if something is not in season, select frozen. Just make sure there's no added sauces, no added salts and sugars in it. Let's take a few minutes to distinguish between organic and conventional produce. I'm going to lay out the facts of the advantages and disadvantages of both, and I'm going to let you make a decision, because right now we don't have a consensus on which is healthier for us. So the conventional produce industry, those who use pesticides, will say that there is no studies to really implicate pesticides in diseases, that no one has ever become ill by eating pesticides. Their argument is that the small amount of residue that is left on those fruits and vegetables, particularly if we wash them off, is not going to make us ill. Conventional produce is also less expensive. The organic industry, on the other hand, will say that those pesticides, though in small amounts, build up over time in our bodies and may indeed contribute to illness. We just don't have any long-term studies to really confirm or deny that. And on top of it, they are very expensive often and difficult to find. So the American Institute of Cancer Research, which I spoke about before, who really is your go-to solid research, has not weighed in on this because they feel that there's not enough evidence for them to make a decision one way or another. Now, if you really feel strongly about buying organic fruits and veggies, this is what I would suggest. I would suggest that you actually look at the Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Dirty Dozen list. It's put out by the Environmental Working Group. And they've identified those 12 fruits and vegetables that are most susceptible to pesticide damage and have the most amount of pesticides on them. Each year, the Environmental Working Group publishes their new list for the year. So the 2020 list is out. And I will tell you that strawberries are always on the list. Strawberries are always on the list because they're a soft, permeable fruit. So the pesticides do tend to, I think, really get into the fruit. Strawberries are on it. Spinach is almost always on it. Nectarines are almost always on it. So other ones are kale, apples. Apples are always on this list, by the way. Grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes. So if you choose to buy organic, what I would suggest is focus on these 12 fruits and veggies on the Dirty Dozen list. In contrast, they also put out what they call their Clean 15 list. And that's those fruits and vegetables that really have very little pesticide residue when you eat them. So for instance, a lot of fruits and vegetables with shells on them or hard outer covers are going to be on the list. There's other fruits and veggies that the plants give off either some kind of smell or an enzyme that breaks down the pesticides, so they're also included. So some of the list Fruits and vegetables on the list are avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, onions, papaya, sweet peas that have been frozen, eggplant, asparagus, cauliflower, cantaloupe, broccoli, mushrooms, cabbage, honeydew melon, and kiwi. Now, interesting enough, usually bananas are on that list. I'm not sure why they're not on the 2020 list, but as you can see, we normally peel that banana and it has a hard outer shell. So I feel like I would be safe saying that bananas are probably another fruit that you could go with conventional produce and feel like you're eating something that's safe. So whether you decide that you want to buy conventional produce or organic produce, the most important thing to remember is to get your servings of fruits and vegetables every day. How we just talked about, 5 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies every day, that is most important. That's what's going to keep us healthy and help to fight off disease. So I've just talked to you about all the beautiful benefits of fruits and vegetables. And I said to you, make sure that you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, right? Well, really, we want to eat 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. So your first question is probably like, what's a serving? So here's a serving. A serving is a cup of raw vegetables. So the size of a woman's fist or a tennis ball is a serving. Also, a serving is a half a cup of cooked vegetables. So the palm of my hand. So a palm of my hand would be a half a cup of cooked vegetables. And then lastly, most fruits, it's the size again of about a tennis ball. So this is a small apple. This is a fruit-sized serving. So of course, dried fruit, you're going to only have a couple tablespoons as a serving, but for the most part, I think the good thing to remember is a serving is a cup raw, a half a cup cooked, or the size of an apple for most fruits. Now, you're saying to yourself, I don't think I can get 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. I'm going to give you some ideas. So suppose in the morning when you get up, you love cereal, whether it's hot or cold. Make sure that you toss a serving of fruit or eat that cereal with another serving of fruit. Let's say you love eggs for breakfast in the morning. So why don't we then have some chopped vegetables? You could use vegetables left over from the night before, or if you have frozen vegetables in your freezer, use them, throw them into your eggs. All right, let's move on to lunch. Remember, I just mentioned to you that a serving is a cup raw. So even if you only had a small side salad to go along with a sandwich for lunch, that's 2 servings. So think about it, a fist size is 1 serving. Let's say I put 2 fist sizes in a small bowl. I have now 2 more servings. Now I'm up to 3 servings. Looking for an afternoon snack? How about a piece of fruit? You could have a pear with a slice of cheese. What a great snack that would be. So now we've already had 4 servings of fruits and vegetables. And for your dinner, try and get some cooked vegetables in. So a cup of cooked broccoli, which is 2 handfuls, not very much. And now you have 6 servings already in of fruits and vegetables. So with a little bit of planning and a little bit of forethought, it's not that challenging to make sure that you get in your 6 servings to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. So here we are in McCaffrey's produce section. The produce section is my favorite section of the store. Why is it such a wonderful part of the store? Because it is full of those vitamins, minerals, fiber, phytonutrients. They're low in calories and they are delicious. And they are so important for our good health. So when you look here, what do you see? This is just beautiful. This is color. I don't know if you've heard of the expression, eat the rainbow. You may have heard it. Well, that's what we're talking about, eating all the different colors. So these colors actually represent what are called phytonutrients, or they are often referred to as phytochemicals. So what is a phytonutrient? It's really a chemical that protects the plant from the harmful effects of the atmosphere and diseases, that type of thing. So the way I love to explain it is when the earth was new and plants were just growing, they give off oxygen. The problem with that is too much oxygen is harmful. We know that there's such a thing as oxidative stress, right? So the plants were actually polluting their own environment. In order to survive, they actually had to develop these chemicals to protect themselves from the oxygen that they were giving off. That's where these phytonutrients came in. So when you look at the red peppers, the reds in that pepper represent certain phytonutrients to protect the red pepper. The purple in an eggplant represents some phytonutrient that protects that eggplant. The smell of garlic represents other phytonutrients. So basically what these phytonutrients are doing are they protecting the plants from the harmful effects of oxygen, or what we like to say is antioxidants, right? So when we eat those fruits and vegetables, we get that antioxidant benefit. So let's kind of go back to our science classes from years ago when we talked about free radicals. If you remember, all molecules are happiest when they have paired electrons, right? So when a molecule loses an electron and we have an unmatched pair, so to speak, those unmatched oxygen molecules, it will start to try and grab oxygen molecules from other molecules in order to become stable. Well, in the process, we start this whole chain reaction of damage, basically, to our cells. What antioxidants do is they loan those oxygen molecules to your cells so that we don't have to see a subsequent chain of reaction of molecules grabbing molecules. And that's how diseases begin. So these plants offer us those antioxidants. They also actually help prevent infection. So often women know that drinking cranberry juice, which will prevent urinary tract infections, that's because the phytonutrients in the cranberry don't allow the bacteria to adhere to your urinary tract to start an infection. So depending again on the color, you're going to offer all these beautiful different phytonutrients. And just like most things, they work best when they work together. So when you are looking at this colorful assortment, the red and the red pepper and the green and the kale work together to promote really good health. We just discovered these phytonutrients back in the 1950s, and now we realize there's over 10,000 of them. So there's so many of them and there's so much we don't know yet. But what we do seem to find is that they work so much better, as I said, when they are together. So often you'll see supplements where we'll try and isolate certain phytochemicals or antioxidants. And we found that often they are either of no benefit or they actually are harmful because, again, we're not working together. It's kind of like when you drink milk and they put vitamin D into the milk so that your body can help absorb the calcium. So the calcium and the vitamin D work together for your health. It's the same here. So when you shop, you want to make sure that you get a great assortment of colors. So my suggestion is not to every day go, did I have my red fruits and veggies? Did I have my green? Did I have my purple? That could drive you crazy. But what I would suggest is when you do your weekly shopping, look at your shopping cart and look to see, do I have a rainbow of color in my shopping cart? And if you find that you look down and it's mostly greens and whites, then throw some reds, throw some purples in, whether they be some blueberries or some tomatoes or white onions. Throw different things in so that when you check out, you're checking out a rainbow of color. So as I just mentioned to you, all plants have phytonutrients in them. So let's walk down here because I want to point out to you the herbs and spice section. I feel like we often forget that they are also plants. They actually are loaded with phytonutrients. I think it's because of the deep root system. That's why we think versus, so a lot of herbs and spices have deep root systems versus, a head of lettuce, which is a shallow root system. I just read somewhere that a teaspoon of oregano has as much phytonutrients in it as 3 cups of broccoli. I mean, that is astounding. And whether the herbs are dried or fresh, they're still going to offer you all those phytonutrients. In fact, herbs that are dried actually are more concentrated and offer more of those phytonutrients. My only caution here is if you have spices that are in your spice drawer for a year or longer, that they probably have lost a lot of their nutritional powerhouse benefits. So you want to make sure that your spice drawer is pretty fresh and up to date. While we're in this section, let's just look at all the prepackaged foods. You know, I want you to eat lots of fruits and vegetables, but sometimes it is hard because we're short on time. I mean, I know that I work, and the last thing I want to do when I come home is chop up a whole head of lettuce and rinse it and clean it and peel potatoes. So whenever you can take advantage of prepackaged foods, it's a little more costly, but to me the benefit of the prepackaged outweighs the extra cost. So it's a decision you have to make on your own. But for instance here, like a great lunch would be half of a bag of that chop kit. You know, you just take the chopped lettuce and you throw it into a bag. I might not use the dressing that's in there. I might just make a little olive oil and vinaigrette, just because often dressings have a lot of added sugars and fats and salts in them. But we have spiralized fruits and veggies here, steamed lentils. So there's all kinds of great prepackaged, semi-prepared fruits and veggies that help you get in your adequate servings of produce in a day. I just want to take a few minutes to highlight some fruits and vegetables that you may or may not consider and maybe try them. So avocado. Everybody loves avocado, or most people do. It makes great guacamole. But have you ever tried chocolate desserts made from avocado? Avocado is a healthy fat. It's on our Clean 15 list because of its hard outer shell. And I challenge you to Google chocolate avocado desserts, and you're going to find some amazing recipes in there. Don't take my word for it. Let's try it sometime, and you will really be impressed by how good chocolate pairs with avocado. So fresh basil, that's in season right now. Don't forget to add that to any of your dishes because it gives great flavor. And again, it's an herb, all those phytonutrients in them. Let's talk about potatoes for instance, because I feel like sometimes potatoes get a bad rap. So potatoes are produce, they are vegetables, so they are able to help you meet your 6 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables in a day. There's white potatoes and sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes have that orange color, so they're full of beta carotene. They have more of those phytonutrients that we talked about, so they're definitely healthy for us. But white potatoes also offer us potassium. They're a good source of fiber. So my recommendation is if you love both of them, switch off between both of them. But don't think that just because a potato is a starchier vegetable that it's not healthy for you, because it really is. And if you look here, this bag of potatoes, look at all the beautiful colors here. Again, we just talked about that rainbow of color. You are eating purple and red and white just by eating that assortment of colorful potatoes. Spaghetti squash. I don't know if you've ever tried spaghetti squash, but it really, when you cook it, it really comes up looking like spaghetti strings. What I love to do with that is maybe I'll mix that in with pasta so that I'm kind of not eating as much of the wheat pasta, and I'm filling it in with some of the spaghetti squash. So it's like a nice change in texture. Look again at the colorful tomatoes that we have here. Again, they're beautiful, and they're not just red, they're assorted colors. Again, we're getting in that rainbow of color. And be adventurous, try different fruits and vegetables. So dates to me are nature's sweetener. You know, let's say you want to have a bowl of oatmeal in the morning and you don't want to add sugar to it. Well, chop up a date and throw it into your oatmeal. You're going to sweeten it up and you're going to be getting in another serving of fruits. And then this is the season for melon. So cantaloupe and honeydew melon are great in-season fruits that you should, take advantage of this time of year. This watermelon looks so juicy and enticing, right? Did you know that watermelon is actually one of the healthiest fruits that we can eat? People think that it's sugary, that it's not a very healthy fruit for you. It really is loaded with all kinds of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. It's low in calories, and it tastes delicious. So this is the time of year to enjoy your melons, particularly your watermelons, and just really love your fruits and vegetables.